What is going on, YouTube? It is Primitive here, and today I'm be bringing you the finals of the most recent local at J&J's. This is going to be a little bit of a mirror match, as we are both going to be playing the red-green hybrid, also known as Christmas, popularized by Huang Zero. But despite us playing the mirror match, it is something that is not going to be too much of a mirror because we do have very different lists. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with a Guilmon in the Raising and then just play out two Gaussmon. And my opponent's got the Gaussmon coming out of Raising, followed by the Bokomon, which is going to double hit, putting them in a pretty decent position here. The double Gaussmon is going to be nice in slowing down my opponent though, since they aren't going to be able to Digivolve for one into either their ultimate or their champion. So going to Digivolve here for 2, and then going to be able to gain 2 with the Bokomon here, just because the Gaussmons are going to negate the reduction of the JP. So we're going to go ahead and swing in, get a piercing check. Thunder Laser is going to go into my hand, and that'll help me in the future if I can get up into my hybrids, of course. As of right now, I don't have a Tamer on board or a Tamer in hand, and my opponent's kind of popping off. So I'm going to swing in with the Guilmon so I can get a draw here. Going to hit the Ancient, no big deal there. It was probably going to go down regardless. But I do have to try to get something going on here. Just not looking in the best position. I don't have too much going on as far as Tamers, and I'm just considering playing down either a Guilmon or playing down something like a Champion, but I decided to just go ahead and play down the Beetlemon here, put my opponent to 3, so that way I can at least try to build up. Without any Tamers, I'm not going to be able to get up into my champions regardless, so just going to have to hard play and give my opponent that memory and see what they can do. If I don't know if they're going to be able to suspend it again. If they can suspend it and swing over, then I am just going to be out of luck, but we're going to see what my opponent wants to do. They actually are going to go ahead and double Atomic Inferno, going to be able to swing the 3 checks right there at, I believe that was 12k. Swing in with the Gaussmon and then swing in with the Bokomon, and just taking a very quick game 1 where I felt like I was just falling too far behind. I had the Gaussmons and everything, but it just wasn't enough. And now we're going to see my opponent hard play the Neo Devimon. We did have mulligans and side decks live at this event as we were testing it out, so my opponent did go ahead and side deck the Neo Devimon, and they are just going to go ahead and hard play it out right here. And it's going to slow me down because I'm going to play the Ken, and then my opponent's going to gain the 3 memory from the Neo Devimon. And as much as I don't really want to play the Ken out, I need to get the memory and get that going, so I'm just gonna have to take that L right here so I can get something going. But my opponent actually decides to swing with it, which is incredibly interesting to me, because if it was just unsuspended, it wouldn't be able to really be swung over without something like a Thunder Laser. And then the JP did come out. The Neo Devi doesn't activate because it is your opponent's turn. It would be pretty broken if you were able to gain the memory when it came out of security. But now they have this suspended, so the JP's out. I can go ahead and Digivolve up and swing over this at some point if I want to. But now what we're going to do is I'm going to be able to Digivolve up here into the Kabuterimon to be able to suspend the Gaussmon. And I'm going to go ahead and trade into it with the Guilmon. The Guilmon is going to stay on the board because we did mix up the egg. We were thinking that it was at 3k, not 2k, but we are going to get this fixed. This isn't going to stay on the board and impact the match. It will go away before anything happens. We just have to wait for me to catch this misplay really quick. It is getting a little bit later in the day when this match did happen, but I promise you the Guilmon will go away before it impacts anything. But I am able to go up into the Ancient Beetlemon now that my opponent was, or I was able to get rid of the Gaussmon, which was able to get rid of the Neo Devimon. So now I'm feeling very good. The Neo Devimon gone is going to give me a lot more freedoms of being able to play a lot more of my Tamers. And then right there, that is where I realized the Guilmon is supposed to be gone. I did not have the Kaporimon, I had the Devimon. So we're just going to go ahead and clear that up. Like I said, we did figure it out, nothing crazy. And then the Gaia Force is going to come out, take up my Ancient Beetlemon, which is unfortunate, but not too big of a deal because I do get a lot of memory, going to be able to make it so I can kind of start developing. I'm going to be able to Digivolve for 2, gain 2, going to be able to suspend there. I don't have the JP to be able to get piercing, but I still want to be able to get something on the board and start to be able to cycle. So I'm going to go into the Blossomon here. I'm not going to use the Digisorption effect because I am going to HPD here, so I can Digivolve into the Ancient, and then I can suspend my Bokomon there. So going to be a little bit more value doing it that way. And now I'm going to be able to swing over and trash the top. Once again, no piercing with the JP, but no big deal. I'm down with clearing off a Digimon off the board, getting a free trash security, and then going to be able to play out the Bokomon and once again double hit. So Bokomon, just so much value in this list. Going to be able to hit so much, and then I can play the JP out, which is going to set me up for next turn to be able to go up into some more hybrids. My opponent's going to draw their card. They have no outs here, and they are just going to go down next turn, so they just scoop it up, and we're we're going to go to game 3, having me go first, of course, because you want that extra value. And I am going to just start off with a Guilmon and a JP, a relatively strong start. The Guilmon next turn going to be able to promote, swing, be able to clear a check, and get a draw. This time I am going to survive because I am at the 3k because of the Demi-Marimon boost. And then I'm just going to go ahead and play a Mimi. My opponent's going to go to 3 anyway, so playing the Mimi allows me to just put them at the 3 that they would be at, while also letting me not get choked. My opponent decided that the Guilmon was too much of a threat to stay on the board, so they did Digivolve over the Ken into the Arbor to swing it over, but they had the Mimi in back to be able to replenish their Memory Tamer. So I'm going to go ahead and Digivolve up into JP, or on top of JP for 1. That way I can start to build up, but I'm just going to go ahead and swing over and Pierce. Even if I do go down here, it's not too big of a deal. Just trying to keep the board clear on my opponent's end, and then just wanting to get those early checks in so that way I can just chip away. The lower security they go, the easier the end game's going to be, but it's very obvious that their hand is not the greatest. I feel like I had a pretty weak hand game 1, and my opponent's having a pretty weak hand game 3, so I'm gonna have to just try to take advantage of that. Playing the JP out is going to allow me to start building up into another hybrid stack next turn for relatively cheap. My opponent just hard plays the Ancient Beelmon. Once I saw this, it was just kind of one of those wow moments. It's one of those hands. So I'm trying to think of how I'm going to be able to take advantage of this. I can Digivolve for 1 here. Can search the top, get the JP, and I don't believe I hit a hybrid, but I do get the JP at least, and that's going to be another card that I can kind of just recycle out, make it so that next turn I can get another hybrid stack going back, and just getting those JPs out as much as possible are going to be good because they just get so much going in the stack. So going to be able to Digivolve here. I am just using my Tamers to kind of build up so that way I can try to go in for a game or just cycle to get something to try to get rid of this Hercule Kabuterimon. But I am going to go ahead and Digizorp on top, going to suspend my other Beetlemon here. I don't want to suspend the Gaussmon because I want to keep that on board to slow them down. If they're going to swing over one of my Digimon with the Ancient, it's not that big of a deal. They're just going to trash. They're not going to pierce. But I can go ahead and Digivolve for 5 now here. If I did have the HPD, it would be a little bit better because I do actually have the starter deck tie here that I can play to buff my Digimon up by 1k on my turn. But I didn't have the 1 extra memory that I needed there to be able to play the Thunder Laser. I had to Digivolve up to cycle and try to get the cards, but if I did have 1 more memory right there, I would have been able to Thunder Laser down my opponent's Ancient Beetlemon, and then I would have been able to swing my Ancient Beetlemon over their Ancient Beetlemon, which is kind of the main point of the tie. But even playing the tie out now does threaten my opponent to either clear the Beetlemon this turn or next turn. I'm going to be able to swing over their Beetlemon, get the Trash and Pierce, and so they might have to go ahead and commit either another Gaia Force, or they can use the Thunder Laser to suspend and trade, and either way, that is perfectly fine with me. They're going to go into the Arbormon, getting rid of their Memory Tamer, so giving themselves even less resources, while I am just chilling with pretty much just about everything that I need. The Gaussmon is still just chilling there, so they can't get into the Rhino Kabuteri without paying for 3. And then there is the Thunder Laser and the trade. The threat of the tie just made it so that they had to be able to clear. I'm going to go ahead and play my Arbormon. They thought that it was from trash, but it is from hand, and so they actually do whiff the on deletion effect. So I was able to get the Arbormon out. Now, the Arbormon was the only hybrid that I had in hand, so I could have used it to Digivolve on top of the JP, but I wanted to play that out just in case I do top deck another one, which I did do, so I can get extra pressure out, and I can search here with the effect. Can get a hybrid, which is going to give me the Rhino Kabuterimon, which is of course going to be very powerful because I can Digivolve on top for 1, and then I can swing, use the effect to go into Ancient Beetlemon, put my opponent at 2, and now I have another Ancient Beetlemon on board, just something that my opponent's not really going to be able to take care of. And because I have the tie on the board, it's very safe to swing into my opponent's security because the biggest thing that they have is 13k, and I'm swinging in at 14k, and so the red starter deck tie is just so powerful in the mirror match. My opponent did Digivolve for 1, but the Gaussmon does make it Digivolve for 2 for the JP, so they go down to 0 here, and they're still not going to be able to go into the Rhino Kabuteri regardless, so what they grab off of here doesn't matter. They can either grab the Metal Kabuteri or the Beetlemon next to the JP, but I don't think it's going to matter too much. They can go into the Metal Kabuteri to suspend my Gaussmon, but they don't have enough memory to keep it their turn, so they're going to go ahead and swing in. It's going to go down to the Argomon there, and that is just another level 6 there. That is not the greatest in this matchup, but very good versus the other hybrid matchups, and we're going to see what my opponent can do here. They are looking pretty rough. They can go ahead and Digivolve for 1. The effect isn't going to matter because I just unsuspend, so now I'm going to be able to Thunder Laser for the 1 to suspend. I'm going to be able to trash the top, and then Pierce. The JP would come out, but it doesn't matter because I have 2 checks and can swing in hand for game right there, and able to take the finals 2-1. Now, the game 1, I had a little bit rough of a hand, and then game 3, my opponent had a very, very rough hand, so can really show that the green hybrid, the red-green hybrid, sometimes can just have pretty rough hands if you aren't getting the search that you need, if you aren't getting those JPs out, or in the mirror match, if your opponent's able to threaten with an Ancient Beetlemon that's just a bit more threatening than yours, it can make you make some plays that do put you behind. But with that being said, that is going to be this finals. If you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe, because I'm going to be bringing you even more BT7 content, including matches and deck list, including my red-green hybrid deck list, which I'll be posting soon. So if you want to be notified about that, be sure to subscribe so you can get live notifications. But with that being said, I will catch you all next time. I hope you have a great day. Peace out.